Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a super exciting one. I was so excited to film this video today. As soon as I heard the FedEx guy come into my driveway, I literally ran downstairs to go and chase him down, and I picked up the Anastasia Beverly Hills new Prism palette. I will literally be editing and posting this tonight, so it is going to be a very long day today. In this video, I'm going to do a review of this palette, some swatches of the palette. I'm going to do a comparison of the Subculture, Modern Renaissance, and Prism palette, and then I also have a demo. So I know this video is going to be pretty lengthy, but it will be very in-depth and helpful for you guys. So if you guys are interested on learning all about this Prism palette, then you guys can go ahead and keep on watching. And while you guys are, it'd mean the world to me if you hit that subscribe button down below and join my YouTube family. Let's just go ahead and jump on in. Anastasia Beverly Hills came out with this new palette, and it is called the Prism palette. The outside of this palette is absolutely beautiful, and the packaging of it I think is by far my favorite ones out of the three palettes. I absolutely love how they created this. It's just a black felt material, just like the felt on the other ones, and then they also just have the gold detail, and then they have Prism written right there. This is what the palette looks like from the outside, the exact same as the other ones. It's the exact same size, the exact same amount of shadows. So let's just jump on in. They do also have the mirror just like the other ones. And then these are the shadows inside of the palette. I'm going to put this up to the camera so you guys can actually see. So it does come with a very gorgeous color selection. In this palette there are 14 shades. 7 of them are matte, 5 of them are metallic, and then 2 of them are duochrome. So the 2 duochrome shadows in this palette are Lucid and Dimension, and I did actually use those, so you guys will see them on my eyes today. It is these 2 right up here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are the metallic shades, and the rest of them are matte. In the tutorial that you guys will see at the very end, I did use 8 of the 14 shadows. So I did get a really good feel of how the shadows perform. I used a lot of the matte ones, I used some of the metallic ones, and then I used both of the duochrome ones. And I can honestly say that the pigmentation is unbelievable from this palette. I think it's honestly just the same as the Modern Renaissance, if not better. It is very comparable to the Modern Renaissance. I know the #1 question that people are going to ask, is it more like Subculture or is it more like the Modern Renaissance? And I will definitely say it's more like the Modern Renaissance. It is very pigmented, but it's very easy to blend out. Some people had a lot of issues with the Subculture palette and trying to blend it out just because it was way too pigmented. And as soon as you put one color on your lid, I mean, you are stuck with that color for the rest of the day. Like, there is no going back from there. You really can't build up with a Subculture palette. You can with a very light hand, but a lot of people had trouble with it. So with this one, you guys will see in the tutorial, it is super pigmented, but it's so easy to build up the pigmentation as well. Like, if you guys just want to go in there with one little bit, it's going to be perfect. If you guys want to build up the pigmentation, that's perfect as well. I didn't have any problem with any chalkiness of the shadows. I zoomed in the tutorial so you guys can also see how much fallout I'm having, and I had little to none. I honestly had less fallout than I do with the Modern Renaissance, and definitely less fallout than I had with the Subculture. It's honestly one of the easiest palettes I've ever worked with in my life, and there's so many beautiful shades. I mean, if you guys just want to do something subtle, you can just go in with Lucid, Eden, Unity, and Parallel and just do like a little smoky eye, or you can even go in with Saturn. I know Sphere definitely scared me at first, but I actually went in that with my first color, and it is a very good transition shade when you're just trying to keep it really nice and warm. So real quick, I will go in and say that the Lucid color was very easy to work with. It was very pigmented. You guys can see it on my inner corner. I mean, it is just beaming. I didn't have any chalkiness or any grittiness or anything like that. Nothing too different from what you would see from a normal metallic or duochrome shadow. Dimension was exactly the same. It's very pigmented, very easy to work with. The only problem that I had with this palette was Osiris was a lot darker than what I was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a very pretty purple metallic-y shade, but it ended up just turning into like a navy blue shade. So if you guys are looking for more of a purple, this definitely isn't going to be purple. It is more navy blue than anything else. And then I also paired it with Obsidian on the outer corner as well, and this black is phenomenal, guys. If you guys are looking for a very pigmented black, I would definitely say that Obsidian is going to be your #1. Very easy to blend out, super pigmented, and a little goes a long way with that one. Like I'm saying, all of these are very pigmented, and the Subculture palette was also very pigmented, and I didn't have too many problems with this. The only thing that I didn't like was like Untamed and Axis and Rowdy and All-Star. Like, so the darker colors in this palette were very patchy for me. I'm not sure why, but I mean, every single tutorial that you guys look at me doing, the more I put on, the more comes off. And that was very, very aggravating for me. I do create some very beautiful looks. I'm still trying to get the hang of using this palette, but it is very, very intimidating for someone that isn't super, super experienced. So I definitely don't hate the Subculture palette, but I do think that the Prism palette is a whole lot easier to work with. Honestly, I could not ask for better pigmentation. I'm going to just grab a fluffy brush and show you guys how little of fallout you get with this. With Eden, real quick, if you go in, there really isn't that much fallout. But then say I go into New Wave real quick, you guys can see just how much more fallout there is in that one. Again, it's not anything super, super dramatic like a lot of people were digging in there. But I'll show you guys as well from the Modern Renaissance palette how much fallout you guys get. With Golden Ochre, you just go in there with the light hand. You're still not getting that much fallout at all. There's a lot of people that I will say were over dramatic with the palette and they're digging in. But I would definitely say with the Prism palette, you're going to get the least amount of fallout and the least amount of kickback from any other palette that she has created. I definitely think that Anastasia and Norvina did an amazing job at packing in these shadows. If you guys don't like the way that Subculture was packed, this is packed very, very differently. If you guys liked the way that Modern Renaissance was packed, this is a lot more similar to it than the Subculture palette. I will say from the first time using this palette, I mean, it was so easy to blend out. Like incredibly easy. So personally, out of these three palettes, if you guys had to get one, definitely the Modern Renaissance is like a must if you guys don't already have it in your collection. The Prism palette, I'd say, is definitely the second runner-up for me. You guys need to have this in your collection. Like absolutely need to have this. Subculture, again, I'm still working with it and I'm still trying to work with it, but if you guys are more beginners, I definitely wouldn't recommend this one over this one. Prism's just a lot easier to work with and I like the pigmentation of this one and the blendability of this one a lot better, and I haven't found any problems with patchiness on the dark colors, on the light colors, anything like that. It was absolutely flawless to blend out. So definitely go with the Modern Renaissance and the Prism palette if you guys are looking for two good ones from Anastasia. But there are a lot of similar shades. So the Adorn color in Subculture reminds me a lot of Sphinx and Eternal from the Prism palette. You also get Roxy, which reminds me of Eden and Saturn. You guys also get Parallel and Fudge, which are very, very similar as well. So there are some similarities, but there are a lot of differences as well. I'm going to swatch Adorn and Sphinx for you guys and Eternal so you can see just how similar they are. So this one is Adorn from the Subculture, and then this one is Sphinx from the Prism. So they're almost exactly alike. And then Eternal is just a little bit lighter than those ones, but still very, very similar. Then I'm going to swatch these two brown ones, Fudge and Parallel. This one is Fudge from Subculture, and that's Parallel from the Prism palette. So they are just a little bit different, but pretty much the same thing. And then I also wanted to swatch Roxy and Eden. So this one is Roxy from the Subculture palette. And that one is Eden from the Prism palette. I also want to show you guys Saturn as well, because that's very similar too. So now that one is Saturn. So they're pretty much the same colors. They're just in the same peachy family. Saturn is a little bit darker than these two, but pretty much Eden and Roxy, if you built up Eden, you could get very, very close to Roxy. Alright, so now that I did those comparison swatches, I'm just going to do all of the swatches from the Prism palette. I'm starting with Lucid and going all the way up to Obsidian, and then I'm going to start with Dimension and go to Lure. So that was basically just the review, some comparisons, and the swatches to the Prism palette, and now I'm going to move on and do the tutorial. I just did like a midnight blue kind of smoky cut crease with a white winged liner. So if you guys want to stick around and check that out, then just go ahead and keep on watching. To start off the eyeshadow, I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyes using my MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. I'm going to tape off my eyes for this look, so I'm just using any clear tape. You can find this literally at the dollar store. I'm going to take a little piece and tape it from the outer corner of my eye and a little bit below my eyebrow. The first shade that I'm going to go in with is just Unity, and I'm going to take that and put it all over my lid and just see how it will do by setting my primer. And I'm just taking the fluffy side to the brush that this palette came with. And so far, there is not a lot of kickback at all. As you guys can see, I dipped into that and there's hardly any kickback. The shade might be a little too dark to set my primer for like an everyday type of thing, but it's definitely not doing a bad job at all. And again, taking that same fluffy side of that brush that they give you, I'm going to go in with the color Sphere. And I'm going to take a little bit. Again, there really isn't any fallout, as you guys can see. And I'm just going to use Sphere as my transition shade. The next shade I'm going to take inside of that transition shade as well, using the exact same brush, is Eden. And again, not too much fallout. On a fluffier Morphe 504 brush, I'm going to take the color Lure and just put that all over where we just put those two shades, kind of in the transition area. I'm going to deepen up the outer corner using the color Obsidian, and the brush I'm going to be using is this small little pointed blending brush, and this is my Morphe M506. I'm going to carve out my inner corner, so I'm going to use my Sigma Concealer F70 brush and then my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. So I just cleaned all the concealer off of that concealer brush, so I'm going to be using the same one and go in with the color Osiris and put that right next to the outer corner of where we put that black color. I'm not getting any chunky or gross glitter fallout with that one, which is very, very impressive considering it is a shimmer shade. Next color that I'm going to use is Dimension, which is like a silvery purple color, and I'm going to take it just on a little flat brush. Color Dimension was actually insanely beautiful, and I really, really like that color. I can see me using it a lot more on an everyday basis. And now on the inner corner, I'm going to pack on the color Lucid. So now I think, honestly, I'm going to do like a white ombre liner. I'm so nervous to do it because I've never actually done it before, but I feel like it'd look really cool with this look. So I'm just taking this really, really small Morphe brush. It doesn't have a name on it. It's from like their like All About Eyes collection or something, and it's just a really, really tiny brush. And then I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer and try and draw out a wing. I hope I don't mess this up because it's going to mess up everything if I do. Now that I've drawn out my wing with the concealer, I'm going to use the color Lucid again and actually top that concealer with that shade. I'm going to take this tape off and then go in with some lashes. Just cleaning up under here with a makeup wipe. The actual false lashes that I'm going in with are these Ardell Faux Mink ones. They've been used before, that's why it looks a little janky right there. I just put them back in there. But this is in the style 811. I'm going to put these on off camera because it takes me like 800 minutes to put them on, so I'll be right back once those lashes are on. So my lashes are on and I'm going to wait for the glue to dry and just finish up the rest of my face, and then I'll be right back to do the lower lash line and the inner corner and everything with you guys. I put on my lashes and I finished up the rest of my face. Now I'm going to move back onto the eyes. So on the inner corner and my brow bone highlight, I'm going to take the color Lucid one more time. Y'all, this color is so stunning. I'm so obsessed with it. This is probably going to be my new favorite brow bone and inner corner highlight. And then on my lower lashes, I'm going to smoke it out using the color Eden. Then I'm going to coat my lower lashes using the Essence Lash Princess Mascara once again. So this is a finished eye look I created using the Anastasia Beverly Hills new Prism palette. I hope you guys did enjoy this review and this tutorial. And if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to leave them down in the comment section down below, and I'll try and get back to you guys as soon as possible. And if there's anything else you guys want to see, also let me know that in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for being here and learning about this new palette with me, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!